Okay, we're continuing with the Gospel according to Mark. We're doing chapter 8, verses 11 to 26. So we start out by seeing this is Christ healing the blind man. That's sort of the highlight of the section we're going to read today. So this is a nice painting by Philippe de Champagne, a French artist, 1660. And it's really more of a landscape. Here's Christ starting to heal the blind man. But it's a very spectacular landscape. All right, here's the El Greco painting from 1577 of Christ healing the blind man. And that's really a big part of the Gospels, is Christ healing people. All right, here is Christ healing a blind man, Jesus healing a blind man, Francesco de Mura. All right, from 1770. Really nice painting there. Here's a painting by Del Parson of Christ healing a blind man. Also very nice. It's just beautiful. Here is Jesus heals a blind man. This one by Joseph Harry Anderson. So these guys made a bunch of paintings of scenes from the Bible. If I was an artist, that would be one thing that I would want to do as well. It's one of the biggest regrets of my life. I didn't learn how to draw. If you got young kids, get them in a drawing class. That's a very valuable thing. The whole rest of their life, it teaches them how to visualize things more objectively, and it's a very enjoyable thing. You can connect it to whatever you do. Christ Healing a Blind Man by Nicolas Poussin, 1665. Christ Healing a Blind Man by Carl Bloch, 1871. Okay, so here we go with the text. The demand for a sign. Then the Pharisees came, and they began to argue with Jesus, testing him by demanding from him a sign from heaven. Jesus sighed deeply in his spirit and said, "Why does this generation demand a sign? Truly I tell you, no sign will be given to this generation." And then he left them. He got back into the boat and crossed to the other side of the Sea of Galilee. Next section, the bread yeast of the Pharisees and of Herod. The disciples had forgotten to bring bread, except for one loaf, which they had with them in the boat. "Be careful," Jesus warned them. "Watch out for the bread yeast of the Pharisees and that of Herod." So they began to discuss with one another the fact that they had no bread. Aware of their discussion, Jesus asked them, "Why are you talking about having no bread?" Let me get myself out of the way here. Got to activate it. I'm having a hard time clicking on it. He said, Do you still not see, or do you not understand? Okay. Do you have such hard hearts? Having eyes, do you not see? Having ears, do you not hear? And do you not remember? When I broke the 5 loaves for the 5,000, how many basketfuls of pieces did you pick up afterwards? 12, they replied. And when I broke the 7 loaves for the 4,000, how many basketfuls did you pick up afterwards? They answered, 7. Then he asked them, "Do you still not understand?" Okay, the next section. Jesus heals a blind man at Bethesda. When they arrived at Bethesda, some people brought a blind man and begged Jesus to touch him. So he took the blind man by the hand and led him out to the village. Then he spit on the man's eyes and placed his hands on him and said, "Can you see anything?" he asked. The blind man looked up and said, "I can see people. They look like trees walking around." Once again, Jesus placed his hands on the man's eyes, and when he opened them, his sight was restored, and he could see everything clearly. So then Jesus sent him home and said, "Do not go back to the village." And of course, that reminds one of Amazing Grace. I once was blind, but now I see.